Hello, love, and welcome back to the Compassionate Curiosity podcast, a space where we explore the messy, beautiful, challenging project of being human. I'm your host, Rachel, and for over a decade, I've supported thousands of women on their well-being journeys as a family nurse practitioner, Peace Corps health educator, wellness coach, and yin yoga and meditation teacher. And I help women break free from the exhausting cycle of never feeling good enough in their bodies without having to lose weight or fix themselves, so they don't waste another year feeling depleted, disconnected, and drained from the pressure to look a certain way. And here in this space, we dive into the stories we carry about our bodies, stress, and self worth, sharing tools, reflections, and lived experience to help you soften the pressure, reconnect with your body, and create more space in your life to breathe, rest, and just be, all guided by curiosity and grounded in compassion. And if you're not already following the show, I encourage you to take a quick second here to hit follow so you never miss a new episode. And I am so grateful to have you here with me today. Today, we're diving into a question that I think every woman has asked at some point in their lives. How do I feel confident in my body? Or maybe the question is between that one and why can't I feel confident in my body? And notice neither of those questions are, how do I look confident? How do I appear confident? But how do I actually feel it? Because that is what we're after here, the feeling of confidence. And here's the thing I want to start with, because it might surprise you. Body confidence has very little to do with what your body looks like, and has everything to do with how safe, supported, and connected you feel inside your body. And so we're going to look at this question from a completely different angle, not from changing anything about your body on the outside, but from understanding the internal experience of confidence. And so what we're going to explore together is what real confidence actually is, the kind that isn't dependent on mirrors, angles, or appearance, why confidence has so much to do with your inner world, not your outer one, what gets in the way of feeling confident and why so many of us lose access to that inner steadiness, how confidence lives and is shaped by your nervous system, and what that means for you and the way you feel in your skin. What confidence actually feels like in the body so you can recognize it in yourself, and how to begin embodying confidence in ways that are gentle, doable, and grounded in compassion rather than self-improvement. And so many amazing things we'll be diving into today. But before that, as always, I want to invite you to join me here in a moment of stillness, of tuning in, of just being. And so if you're safe and able to right now, I invite you to make yourself comfortable in whatever way that looks like right now, and gently close your eyes. And start by taking a deep breath in through your nose and letting out a long, slow breath through your nose, completely emptying. And take 2 more slow breaths in and out like this. And while you do that, I want to invite you to notice the moment between the in-breath and the out-breath. That slight pause, that second of nothingness from the top of your breath to when you begin your exhale. Just notice that point. And then let your breath settle into its natural rhythm. And now bring your attention to your hands. Notice any sensations there. Maybe there's coolness, warmth, tingling, pressure. Just noticing what's there and allowing it to be there. And just see what happens when you do. And let's take one more deep breath in through the nose. And let out a long, slow breath through your nose. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes and welcoming the world back in. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's start by looking at what we tend to think confidence is and why it's worth questioning that. So, one thing many of us tend to think when it comes to confidence is that confidence comes from loving how you look. The belief that if we could just fix one more thing, lose a little weight, tone this, change that, get the right angle, then we'd finally feel confident. But here is the thing with that, my dear. Even on the days you love how you look, that feeling is fragile. It's fleeting. Because one unflattering photo, one off comment, one bad mirror moment, and it disappears. The day your hair doesn't cooperate, confidence gone. The day your jeans feel tight, confidence gone. The day someone tags you in a photo from 2009, gone, 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 gone. Because that kind of confidence is conditional. It depends on something that was never meant to stay the same. Your ever-changing, ever-evolving human body. And because your body shifts with hormones, stress, age, life, sleep, literally being human, confidence built on appearance will always rise and fall. It becomes something you have to maintain and constantly check in on. And that is exhausting. That doesn't free you. It keeps you monitoring yourself constantly, terrified of losing it. But real confidence, true confidence, the grounded, steady kind, doesn't come from chasing a moment where you happen to like what you see. Real confidence comes from someplace much more stable, much more internal, and much more rooted in who you are, not how you look. It's born in your nervous system, your inner safety, your self-connection. The second myth is that confidence is the absence of insecurity. I think a lot of us imagine confident people as these unshakable beings who never doubt themselves, never feel awkward, never question anything. But that is not confidence. That is a fantasy. Every single human being has insecurities. Even the people who seem the most self-assured still have moments where they wonder, worry, feel shaky. So confidence isn't the absence of insecurity. It's the presence of internal safety and self-support. It's the ability to feel an insecurity come up and not spiral into self-abandonment. To notice that little wobble inside you without making it mean something is wrong with you. Real confidence has room for your humanity. It doesn't require you to silence fear or pretend you never feel unsure. It asks you to stay with yourself through all of that. The third myth is that you become confident once you fix enough of yourself. This is such an easy trap to fall into. The idea that confidence is something you earn after enough improvement, healing, shrinking, growing, fixing, toning, whatever the thing is you believe you need to get right. But confidence isn't a reward. It's not something that appears once you've polished enough parts of yourself. Confidence is a relationship, a way of being with yourself that you practice long before you ever feel ready. It's a present moment energy, not a finish line. And the real truth here is that confidence grows from the inside out, not the outside in. And it starts growing the moment you stop waiting for a future version of yourself to deserve it. It isn't something you finally unlock once you've fixed enough. It's something you cultivate by showing up to the you that exists right now with compassion, presence, and trust. And so once you strip away the old stories, the appearance myths, the no insecurity allowed myths, the fix yourself first myths, you're left with the real, much more human question of, so then where does it actually come from? And how do we feel it in a sustainable, grounded way? And this is where things start to open, because confidence is so much less about performing or perfecting and so much more about what's happening inside your body and inside your relationship with yourself. So let's talk about that. So I want to invite in here that confidence is a nervous system state. What do I mean by that? When your body feels safe, supported, and regulated, you naturally feel steadier, more grounded, more capable, more open. You interpret situations differently. You breathe differently. You move differently. The idea is consistent with what the polyvagal theory has shown us, which we've touched on in earlier episodes, that when the body feels safe, we access clarity, connection, and presence more easily. Confidence, again, isn't something you force or perform. It's something that rises naturally when your system feels steady. So we can look at confidence as being made of three things: safety, the body isn't in survival mode; self-trust, I've got me; and self-attunement, listening to your needs and your emotions with compassion. That is the foundation here. And so when women ask me, how do I feel confident in my body? I find that there's usually a few deeper questions underneath that one. Things like, how do I feel at home in myself? How do I feel safe being seen? How do I trust myself? How do I stop fighting my body? How do I stay with myself when insecurity comes up instead of abandoning myself? These are the real questions. And they're so much more human, more vulnerable, and more honest than the word confidence ever captures. Because most of the time, when we say we want confidence, what we're really longing for is a sense of belonging. Belonging to ourselves, belonging in our bodies, belonging in our lives. We want to feel safe being ourselves. We want to stop trying to earn our worth. We want to feel connected instead of self-critical. That is belonging. And that's also what creates confidence. And when you really hear those deeper questions, how do I feel at home in myself? How do I feel safe being seen? How do I trust myself? It becomes clear that this isn't a conversation about fixing your body, right? It's a conversation about repairing a relationship. Because the truth is, you weren't born doubting yourself. You weren't born second-guessing your worth or monitoring your every move. You weren't born disconnected from your emotions or your body. Something happened along the way. And so, before we talk about how to rebuild confidence, we have to gently look at this. Why did we lose confidence in the first place? What interrupted that natural sense of trust and belonging we once had? Because when you understand the roots, you stop blaming yourself and you start understanding yourself. So, why did we lose confidence in the first place? Why did something that once felt natural, effortless even, become something we now have to search for, relearn, or rebuild? So there are a few big reasons that I see again and again, and I want to go over some of those with you today. So the first one is chronic stress and being in survival mode. When your nervous system is constantly overwhelmed or bracing for the next thing, your body moves into protection mode. You can't access grounded confidence in that mode. It's literally not available. Survival mode doesn't leave room for, I feel steady and capable. It's too busy trying to keep you safe. Confidence can't grow in a body that's constantly scanning for danger. So that's one reason. Second reason is disconnection from our emotions. Many of us learned early on that our emotions were too much, inconvenient, unsafe, or something we had to hide, manage, or silence. But your emotions are part of your internal guidance system. When you disconnect from them, you disconnect from yourself. And that disconnection makes confidence almost impossible because you can't trust a body you're not allowed to feel. Reason number 3 is internalized standards and comparison loops. So we live in a culture that trains women to monitor themselves constantly. How we look, how we're perceived, how together we seem. This creates an internal pressure to pass some invisible test. And you cannot feel confident when your attention is always turned outward, trying to meet standards that were never yours to begin with. Reason number 4, not having models of embodied, grounded confidence. If you didn't grow up around people who felt at home in themselves, who modeled self-trust, who showed you what emotional regulation looked like, then your body never learned that pattern. Confidence is co-regulated. We learn it through experience, through relationships, through being around people who feel steady in themselves. And so if you didn't have that, it makes sense that confidence feels pretty foreign now. Number 5, past experiences that made being in your body feel unsafe. For some women, confidence isn't just complicated, it's tangled up with experiences where being seen, being in your body, or expressing yourself led to shame, criticism, rejection, danger. Your body remembers that. And of course, it still protects you. That's what it learned to do. If the body once learned being myself isn't safe, confidence won't come from forcing it. It comes from restoring safety. And the last reason here that I want to go over with you is many of us learned to belong by abandoning ourselves. And when you've spent years or decades outsourcing your worth to approval, to perfection, to productivity, to thinness, to praise, coming home to yourself will feel unfamiliar at first. But unfamiliar doesn't mean impossible. It just means you're learning a new way, or maybe remembering one you lost along the way. So those are some of the reasons why we've lost connection with that natural sense of confidence. And so now that we understand why confidence can feel so hard to access, I want to bring us back into the body for a moment. Because confidence isn't just a concept. It's an experience. It's a sensation. It's a way your system organizes itself. So let's talk about what confidence actually feels like in the body, and then we'll walk through some gentle ways to start embodying it right now. So confidence can feel like a sense of settling inside yourself. a little more space in your breath, a softening in your jaw or your belly, shoulders that drop without you trying, your feet feeling connected to the ground and you actually noticing that. It can feel like being able to stay with yourself even when something feels uncomfortable. It can be a warmth or openness in your chest area. It can be a sense of inner steadiness that I'm here, I can handle this feeling. Confidence feels like presence, like belonging, like the absence of bracing. It's capacity, the capacity to be with what's here. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to wait for some perfect future version of yourself to feel like this. That version doesn't exist. You can begin practicing it right now. And so let's look at 3 tools that you can try out to start embodying and practicing this confidence. So the first one is the right now check-in. So try this one when you notice insecurity or doubt come up. And so what you'll do is pause for a moment and ask yourself, what am I feeling in my body right now? What do I need? And how can I support myself in this moment? This is attuning to your body and yourself. And attunement is what creates trust. And trust is what creates confidence. This is you practicing this relationship. The second tool here is borrowed confidence or sensation rehearsal. So with this one, think of a moment where you felt grounded, where you remember you just felt steady. And then ask your body, where did I feel that? What did my breath do? What shifted inside me? Let your body borrow that memory. Confidence tends to return through the body before the mind catches up. And so that's why this one can be helpful. The third tool is the end of the day self-trust list. So with this one, at night before you go to bed, write down anywhere from 1 to 3 moments where you showed up for yourself. They can be tiny. I rested when I needed it. I let myself feel sad. I didn't ignore that boundary. I took a deep, conscious breath today. Making this list builds the identity of someone who supports herself, which is the root of confidence. And that is where it begins, not with loving every part of how you look, but with reconnecting to your body, soothing your system, and choosing presence over performance. And so, as we wrap up here today, I want you to remember something. True confidence isn't waking up every day feeling radiant and unstoppable. It isn't the absence of doubt. It's not having zero insecurities or never questioning yourself. It is the ability to feel doubt and not collapse into it. To feel insecurity and not make it mean you're failing. It is to feel discomfort and stay with yourself anyways. Confidence is you staying on your own side. It's something you learn to come back to again and again, gently and compassionately. And it deepens as your relationship with yourself deepens. It grows as your nervous system softens. And it becomes easier to access when you're no longer constantly assessing, managing, comparing, or critiquing yourself, and instead staying connected to your own inner experience. And if you're listening to this thinking, okay, I want this, I want to feel steady in myself, I want to feel at home in my body again, I want you to know you don't have to do that alone. That can feel overwhelming and exhausting, just thinking about that. And so right now, I have a very limited number of spots open for my body peace breakthrough session, which is a 60-minute one-on-one clarity session where we explore what's getting in the way of confidence for you, what your body might be trying to say, and the next powerful steps to take that will help you feel more connected, more grounded, and more at peace in your own skin. And so if you've been wanting support, or if something in this episode stirred something in you, this is a beautiful place to start. And so you can grab your spot through the link in the show notes below, and I would truly love to support you there. And as always, you're welcome to join the Compassionate Curiosity community, which is my free email space for grounding tools, reflections, and gentle reminders to stay connected to your body, to your truth, and to yourself. And so thank you so much for joining me today and being here with your curiosity and openness. And until next time, my dear, may you know that you are not alone. I am here with you. May you be guided by curiosity and grounded in compassion. Sending you love, light, and gratitude today and always.